Hello, lurkers. And hello, all you archaeologists. I'm the Johnstruct. Welcome to the proximity. And welcome to Final Fantasy XIII. I'm going to change my glasses, I think. Because it's sort of reflecting in my eyes. And I'm hoping these will reflect a little bit less. Now, as you may or may not know, I'm on a quest of sorts. A quest, an ambition of completing all the Final Fantasy games, even the weird side games that probably don't count, apart from like the 11th one or possibly Crystal Chronicles. Pretty sure some of these games would be impossible or be a headache to stream. I'll see how I feel about them when I get to those particular games. Now, the implication with that is that I'm playing them in order, which I was doing. So far, I've managed to complete Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7. I also completed Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I also completed Final Fantasy Legend. I did not complete Final Fantasy Adventure because instead I played Sword of Mana. But I'm tempted to go back. I'm not sure if that is, whether that counts or not. I also played the remake to Final Fantasy Saga, well, Final Fantasy Legend 2, which is like a saga game. Anyway, I have jumped ahead once before. Occasionally, Final Fantasy 14 will let you play for free on weekends. And so I jump on for those weekends. I've recorded them, but I've not uploaded any of them to my YouTube channel. So I figure for the same reason, I've got access to Xbox Game Pass right now for 3 months. And that means I don't have to buy this game. And I don't know, I just sort of fancied it. I'd recently finished Final Fantasy VII, and I'd start Final Fantasy VIII. I really have to finish Final Fantasy Tactics first, or I'm playing Legend, the Lion one? I forgot what that's called. War of the Lions, that's it. I hope this game's loud enough. Quite hard to tell. This would probably be a good screen for me to do that. Final Fantasy XIII. I need some music to swell, don't I? I think it could do with being a little bit louder, don't you? Yes. Okay. Well, I can fix that and I'll continue explaining things. It'll probably go quiet while I alt-tab. Will it let me alt-tab? It will. Let's put it up there. About halfway, but about there. Okay, I think that's this. We'll make adjustments as we play. But hopefully you should be able to hear that music. So yes, I've jumped ahead for Final Fantasy XIII, and I'm going to jump back afterwards. I play lots of other games as well, and I really should just play those other games, but I just had a hankering to play another Final Fantasy. I wanted to, so I decided to. So we're playing on PC and playing on Xbox Game Pass. Pressing new game. Bit of a nightmare to install this because it just doesn't want to install on any other drive apart from C, and I don't have space on C. I have space. I've got a drive specific. Let's just start. We'll play on normal. If I want to change the difficulty, press a button. The E button. But yes, about this game in particular. So what's been nice about going through all the games is seeing how they grow from one another. So it is a tiny bit of a shame to jump ahead, but I played Final Fantasy 12 and 10 when they remade them last times. They're probably the games I'm most familiar with. I was a little bit afraid. Are we playing in Japanese? I did not even consider that there was a language option. I think I just want to play in English though. But I like the option. I'll just double check. I don't want to watch too much of this because I'm trying to give my honest feelings of coming back to this game after playing it for the first time. Right. What was I saying? I feel like I was saying something interesting enough that I don't want to put a hard cut in there. But yes. So...
The 13 days after we awoke were the beginning of the end.
There we go. So the voice is in English this time. Appreciate the subtitles. So, I have not played this game since it came out. I did complete the game, but I won't lie, I took a year. I paused, took a year, and then finished it. Which is not something I had ever done before in a Final Fantasy, but I did skip 11. Like a lot of people. So maybe, let's see how well it's aged. Because for me, like 10 and 12, I can see why people have issues with it, but 13 was like...
Serious?
Be quiet.
The game that was like, oh, but I want Final Fantasy to be a certain thing, and it's not that certain thing anymore. And I know lots of people felt that about 12.
She did it!
It's going very fast as well, by the way. It's good, like right in front of my face going, "Whoa!"
You alright? I'm not a LaCie.
I still don't know the difference between a LaCie and a fal'Cie. Like, I'm sure I'll figure it out. Like, in 7 and 8, they did a pretty good job of just translating weird words into something that sort of made sense. You know, sin. Sin's a translation. That's somebody being clever. But then they decided for this one, nah, it's LaCie. It's a cool word that means nothing to me. How deeply, deeply confusing. But like, I'm gonna try and enjoy it. I'm going in knowing full well what the game is gonna get me. I'm gonna just try and just be there for it. You know what I mean? And as I said before, I don't know if I'm gonna upload this straight away or wait until it's in the correct place in order. It's just a lot right into my face. This is cutscene, right? Yeah. Because one line looks amazing. Even though I can be a bit too much going on.
Run! I've been away!
Alright, there we go. Yeah, of course. Now we see. I've turned the graphics up to full, but I don't know if my PC can take full. It's just a 360 game though, but it looks great. You know, at the time I remember being, you know, they just look human now.
Be rational now.
This fucking machine. It's an absurd looking machine.
Send the big guns now. What do we do?
Watch and learn.
Yeah, I'd really like if the game didn't flash as much. Okay. I have a really itchy nose. Active time battle. Ah, this. I'm trying to conjure up how I felt, and I just don't. I cannot tell you how I felt. Like right here and right now. I can tell you that one thing that drove me crazy was the tip tap of them walking everywhere and the straight lines in the corridors. And then when Zero Punctuation mentioned the footsteps, I felt so validated. I felt like no one talked about footsteps. We'll view the tutorial. Time flows continuously throughout battle. One of the jokes that I make. Oh, I make this joke so often. is it feels like when you play Final Fantasy VII and there's a kid in school that says, "Why are they taking in turns? Why are they taking in turns to fight?" And it's like, you know, it's just a metaphor. It's a game. Like, the system doesn't necessarily reflect the actual reality of what's going on because it's an abstract system. It's fine. Just get over it. And it's like, no, they're taking in turns. You punch me, I punch you. And it's like, it felt like somebody told Square this and they took it so personally. And like, they just spent all this time just trying to like, just get over that. Go, no, we can do it in real time. And I feel like with Final Fantasy VII Remake, I feel like they've actually hit that. Like, wow. But like, this is how it starts. Well, like 12 is sort of how it started, really. So yeah, ATB. Characters perform actions by expending charged ATB gauge segments, actions which they perform depending on the commands you select. Input entire strings of commands and unleash them all at once. Select auto battle to queue up a set of commands tailored to your situation. Select abilities to specify individual command. Like, even that, it's like an auto battle button, which again seems a sweet kitten, and it's fine, it's perfectly fine. But like, I feel like at the time it felt like a massive betrayal. Even though, yeah, you're just playing most of the time in these old games, you're just pressing the attack button. It's fine. We'll see though. I feel like it doesn't get interesting until like 70%, at least 10 hours. I'm gonna say, I distinctly remember it being 10 hours before the game gets interesting, which is true for a lot of RPGs, by the way. Like, but it's not usually true for Final Fantasies, especially with story and stuff as well. You can input entire strings of commands and unleash them all at once. Select auto battle, string up a set of commands tailored for your situation. Like, I get the idea as well. Like, the commands are limited because you're kind of focused on roles. And like, yeah, you're just going to be doing these things. Just select auto battle. So there's auto battle. 2 attack actions have been placed in your command queue. And it wants there to be a flow to everything. To learn new abilities, you use command. By the way, I never played 13, 1 and 2 and 3. And unfortunately, I genuinely want to wait to play those games until I can get to them. We'll see how I feel though, because I might just get more Xbox now. Game Pass, I mean. I wish you'd like notice I'm playing controller. Choose a target for your attacks. So yeah. You want the first one, yeah. Okay, one enemy. Attacks, enter more commands. Continue fighting. You will only be able to control the actions of lightning. Saz will fight on its own. I see. But I'm playing other games that do that. Okay, so target. There's no reason to blitz because 35, and that does. Oh, I don't know because it's dead. Because you're going in this, you know, day one. You've just bought the game, and you're being as fair as possible to the game because you want to love it. You've spent so much money on a brand new game, and believe me, I bought this on day one.
That wasn't like a challenge now, all right? Hey!
In media res. The female protagonist. You're like, that's good.
Heads up. This thing won't give up.
Lightning looks suspiciously like Cloud. That's fine. We're playing Saz now, or okay. So attack. 13. Oh no. 35. 30s blitz. I could not tell. Okay, no, so attacks are better. Oh, yeah, okay, this is the only choice afforded to me right now. Even Final Fantasy VII had a fire button. But we do have the option to chuck a potion on all allies. Gonna use the war cannon. I do have control over the camera as well. I like that it's it's a scorpion, like Final Fantasy VII. A rating is pretty weird for a Final Fantasy game. The shame of skipping, well, temporarily skipping 8, 9, 10, 11, and it's 9 and 8. Mainly 9 is the one I'm most interested in. It's the one I remember the least. I'm looking for those references. I'm seeing how they grow. But I know 12 very well.
We did it. Aren't you supposed to protect civilians, soldier? I mean, you are Sanctum, aren't you? What are you doing trying to stop the purge? Why don't you tell me that?
I was a soldier.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Man.
We have a bit of a comedy sidekick.
Chocobo, you just can't catch a break, can we?
Love the Chocobo.
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh well, better follow her. I'm getting too old for this.
See, for me, that's new. But I know at least 10 and 10 did that, where it introduced zones with title cards. I know. I don't think I need. You possess an advanced digital journal known as the data log that autonomously streams information deemed pertinent. Whenever the data log records a new entry, a notice will appear in the upper left corner of the screen. To peruse entries, press E. Well, I mean, apart from E doesn't do anything right now. Status. Okay, we're doing great. Look at these screens. Like, these are great. These things. We're doing fine. What about you? This Saz. So 30, 30, 24, 26. He's got the Vega. We're keeping the. We have the Blaze Fire Saber. Okay, cool. We have the abilities. We have Attacker Blitz. And he has just attack equipment. We can optimize for offensive. Yeah, it's fine. Inventory. Bunch of potions. Weapons. A weapon new to the Sanctum Army. The gunblade is it's a gunblade only issued to the highest trained soldiers, and these weapons are worn by civilian pilots for purposes of self-defense in case of emergency landings in the wilderness. Key items. We have Unicorn Mart. I don't know what that means. Data log, which is what we're using. Gravcon. Survival knife. Oh, I thought it was a birthday present. Okay. The map. Big straight line. It's everything you need to know about this game. I do see a save point. Data log. Events. Chapter 1. Defiers of Fate. This. Do you know what a Final Fantasy needs? A pamphlet that goes along with the game. And they didn't learn from this mistake, did they? Because Final Fantasy 15, 13, 14, 15 comes with a bloody film you have to watch. Lightning and Saz are held aboard a military purge train along with a group of civilians destined for exile, in stark contrast to the uncertain and despairing people around her. For Lightning appears determined and focused. She seizes upon an instant of inattention to disable a guard, and her impressive display inspires Saz and the other civilians to take arms against the soldiers. After clashing with the army forces, the train crashes to a halt in the war-torn district known as Hanging Edge. Saz attempts to figure out Lightning's angle, but she shows little desire to share. The former soldier, not a capital S, throws herself into battle without the slightest hint of his hesitation. What could be driving her? What are her motivations? They're a mystery. I bet it has something to do with her sister. Basic controls. Thanks, game, for attaching numbers to those. Saving. You save when it saves. Shopping. Yeah, and all this. You're like, where are the towns? Final Fantasy VIII did that, where it's just like you didn't see shopkeepers, you just spoke to somebody, and then it came like, and I was like, no, I like going in buildings. This is an RPG. I enjoyed that aspect. But it's fine. The mini-map, I know what a mini-map is. I do like the mini-map in this game. I like because it had the trailing one, and I appreciate that. Or to talk, yeah, they're like, we don't need you to click a button to talk. We just assume you want to talk to people. It's fine. We understand the idea of talking. Or to jump. Yep, that makes sense. What else are you going to do here? Why do you need to press a button to jump? Red and blue indicators. Jumping over stuff, okay. Object interaction, part 1. Press buttons. Got it. Skippable ball. And yeah, the idea of skippable cutscenes was so new at the time. Right, I distracted myself, didn't I? Yeah, so, yeah, skipping. Oh, what a novelty, skipping cutscenes. Let's drink a cup of tea. I'm enjoying this, but I haven't actually started yet. It is, like, just long enough ago that, yeah. Now it's become nostalgic. Or certain cutscenes are not skippable. I do like that they were like, you can pause it and then you choose to skip, because that's always scary. Farmer's battle. Yeah, it told me this already. Points per second. Okay, it's sort of weird. Area maps, sure. Data log, sure. Camera settings. Sure, I might go into that then. Enemy intel, militarized units, annihilators. This thing, it's unremarkable. It's a Manasfin war mech. Want to tell me anything about it? No, it's just unremarkable. You've got no remarks on it. It's a type of annihilator. Settings. Okay, so we can name this on. On was all we get. I guess. Controller type. Thank you very much. It's weird that that's a choice and not automatic.
Sure we can get through here?
Oh, there we go. We have a shop. The unicorn mart. We can get one of those if we want. It's above our pay grade though. I don't remember this at all. Like I remembered that it was like the visuals. I mean, I don't remember. Sure.
It's a mess is what this is.
Many and various enemies stalk the roads. Upon entering enemy's detection radius, mini map in the upper right of the corner. Flash. Yeah, because they're like, yeah. People don't like random battles, so let's give them some control over that. 34, 35. So yeah, it makes more sense to attack because you might kill them. 5-star. What is this?
What do you suppose this is?
I don't know. I was asking.
Aren't you leaving its toys out now? Fixing to dish me already, huh? Hey now.
That all the fights are taking place where you actually are is neat. I think that's true for 10 as well. But sort of, it does teleport you. him as well, but he comes in the back. Oh, she didn't do... Blitz you. Oh yeah, Blitz hits multiple enemies. I'm gonna win regardless, but that's not the point. Mums are tough. They put a lot of effort into making this exciting, even though it's a goddamn corridor. Why is it a corridor? I don't... Like, I won't lie. The mazes of Final Fantasy 1 and 2 got old really fast. But this is like the complete opposite. It's physically impossible to get lost.
Not wanting to get purged, I get. But taking on trained soldiers?
Better to die than get sent to Pulse. It's hell under the brimstone.
Yeah, well, hell's not sounding too bad. Because this place ain't exactly paradise.
Domesticated peacekeepers. Nothing to worry about.
Maybe not for a soldier girl, but I'm trying to say, hey!
So, abilities Blitz. Will I hit more than one person? Yeah, I will. Okay. So, one Blitz. Oh, it's a Pantheron! Oh, I missed. He's in the middle. Try and get all three. Now what two attacks? I am hurt. But not as hurt as that dogger. As a cat. Whatever. Does it auto heal me? We have a Phoenix down now. We've got Wicked Fang. Encounters. Yeah, I remember that. We have Sacom Hunters. The Warden. Relatively low HP. Unremarkable. Razor Claw. Pantheron. Low stagger threshold. Why can't I spin them? Spin them in Final Fantasy VIII.
We, gotta fight again, huh?
I think we've... Yeah, I think we auto-heal after every fight.
Yeah, you must be real nice from up there.
What are you? Well, we could have blitzed. No, don't do it.
He's dead, it's fine.
This is better, but it is still a corridor. Oh, I went off the beaten path and got myself 50 kills. Nice.
preemptive strike.
Rebels! So much for the element of surprise.
Know how to use an item. Hang on, what did he say about the number? Single potion heals your entire. You don't need to specify targets. It's a free action, so you recover HP immediately without expending any charge segments. And if you find yourself in a pinch, don't hesitate to use a potion. It's game over. If lightning dies, it's game over. That's what's really interesting here.
Do we turn back?
There's no time.
Then what do you suggest we do?
Quiet.
Hey! Wait! No, don't leave me!
Let go!
The hell no! You're my only way out of here! No! Hey, that might get us across. Right there. Right?
Looks that way.
All right, you leave this to me.
Airborne. These are remarkable as well. Fields of war. Suspect citizens of Cocoon are wrenched from their tranquil existence and threatened with exile to the world of Pulse. The purge has begun. The land below is said to crawl with the unknown perils, and terrified civilians beginning to rebel against the purge. A revolt also occurs on the train transporting purge deportees as Lightning's battle against the guards galvanizes the other prisoners into action. The train comes to a halt in the district of the Hanging Edge, now a hellish war zone where soldiers openly fire indiscriminately upon civilians. Lightning makes her way through the middle of the conflict, but ignoring her uninvited companion Saz, she seems determined to press onwards even when the path before her is destroyed by military strikes.
Hey, this way. Come on.
Let's fight those cats. I'm going to utilize Blitz. Like that center one. You get 3 of them once. Blitz. And he saves very. I have to consider the actual positioning. Because if they move, it changes, you see. The liveliness of what's going on makes a difference. If not die, that would be embarrassing. Oh, it's pointless then. Yeah, because what's interesting is switching them. So even that, this is quite a lot of time spent on quite a simple system. Where I came from. I like that I'm looking at the map as if there's any other direction I can go. We've got a Phoenix and we've got 4.
Seems to be in working order.
Gonna do the bloopy bloop.
This is not our lucky day.
Deportees, are we? Weapons down. I'd hate for this to turn ugly.
Turn ugly?
He wants to kill us without a fight.
Time's up!
Oh. He has a very judge-like appearance. Attack chain. I will view the tutorial. Initiate attack chain, select order battle or attack from the ability and choose Psychon. See the bar displayed beneath the target's name? That is a chain gauge. Keep an eye on that. When attacking an enemy, its chain gauge fills. Hit home, percentage beneath increases. This percentage is called a chain bonus. The more times you hit an enemy, the more damage you'll take from subsequent attacks. Continue with pummeling him. But why do I have to use order battle? Once a chain gauge is full, one further blow will stagger your foe. A staggered enemy will take greater damage when attacked. Chaining attacks to be bigger to stagger powerful adversaries is essential to defeating them. Be aware, however, that an enemy's chain gauge begins to drain the moment it's staggered. There goes Rory is no more. Oh, Predator.
So, soldier. What's your angle? What? Classified military info? Huh? What's the matter? You quit, didn't you? Or did you think I'm gonna go out there and just tell everybody your secrets?
fal'Cie.
That means something, probably.
My angle. I'm after the fal'Cie.
Still means nothing to me.
Still happy you tagged along.
Didn't have a choice.
Right, I believe we've
On
made...
behalf of the good citizens, I would like to thank our brave false pioneers and express our best wishes for a successful relocation. Your noble and selfless sacrifice ensures the continued safety and peace of our society. Were it not for this remarkable gesture, every resident of Cocoon, your family, your friends, your neighbors would be exposed to the dangers of the world choosing to leave Cocoon and participating in this migration.
Migration? More like extermination.
Huge. You stay here.
Well, that word's been ruined, isn't it?
Sorry. I didn't mean to.
These people need heroes.
Mums are tough.
Here. You keep your cool, and they will too. You got it?
Got it.
What's our motto?
The army's no match for Nora.
That a boy.
Why do we have a motto, sir? Resistance front. Hanging edge. You know the lines they're gonna go across? The date log has been a sneaky floating ball. In the future, they're like boxes. So passé. We're floating spheres. Right. I'm not used to games not using the menu button for menus. We have a wild bear. Actually, what is a credit chip? Can be sold. Oh, there's a lot. Another rebellion. The peaceful citizens of Cocoon live in constant fear of invasion by the forces of Pulse. The world below and supposed home of terrors unknown. Were even a single Pulsian agent to be discovered on Cocoon, panic and civil unrest would be sure to follow, threatening the very fabric of society. To prevent such a calamity, the Sanctum, Cocoon's governing body, initiates the Purge, a government initiative officially entailing the deportation of all those who may come in contact with corrupting Pulsian influences. However, the Sanctum army is now brutally slaughtering the citizens they were supposed to be deporting. Ugh! Realizing that the Purge is nothing more than a massacre in disguise, Snow leads the young freedom fighters of Nora. What is that noise? I keep getting that noise. Right, I think the noise is somebody logging in and out of their Xbox. Why are they murdering people, though? It seems like I get they're evil, but why are they Why are they doing this? Why are they actually doing this? You know, Snow leads a young freedom fighters of Nora in an effort to protect the Purge deportees from Sanctum soldiers. Okay, but then we have like a lot of it. Look at these bloody so much. Okay, we have the elites. This marauder. Look at him. He's just a judge. He's just a side judge. We can chain and stagger, of course. A Cocoon society. Ugh, there's so much. Let's read it all immediately, otherwise we'll never do it. The Cocoon central government, the Sanctum, holds supreme executive, legislative, and judicial power. It also maintains directive authority over the military. Despite the fact that Cocoon was built by the fal'Cie and not by humans, fal'Cie opt to participate only superficially in governmental affairs. So, fal'Cie are people, fal'Cie are... It doesn't help that fal'Cie has the word fal'Cie in. It's just the fa. It's the fa that makes them better. Superficially in government affairs, leaving Cocoon's admin entirely to discretion of human Sanctum and its Primarch, Galenth Daisley. The Purge. To the millions who call Cocoon home, the lower world of Pulse represents a constant source of fear. Suspected association with Pulse means stigmatization of an enemy of the state and all mankind, even for the born and raised citizens of Cocoon. The recent discovery of fal'Cie from Pulse near the city of Bodum caused widespread civil unrest. After placing the city's entire population under quarantine due to the possibility of containment, the Sanctum then announced its intent to forcibly relocate the effective of Pulse to an emergency measure dubbed to the authorities as the Purge. I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't have called it the Purge. I would have called it the holiday. You're all going on a holiday. It's a one-way holiday, but don't call it the Purge. People don't associate that word with good things. Nora. Mums are tough. The paramilitary organisation known as Nora is a group composed of like-minded youths assembled by Snow and self-funded by the operation of a seaside cafe in Bodum. Functioning as a neighbouring watch of sorts, Nora members patrol the vicinity of Bodom for trouble. Most often, trouble consists of encroachment by dangerous forms of wildlife. Nora has never openly acted out against Sanctum prior to the purge, but because of this, the military had been content to turn a blind eye to the group's activities. Of course, mums are tough. Cocoon. From her lofty seat, the world of Cocoon has long enjoyed tranquility. The interior of her spherical shell supports several sprawling cities. I should have done like a fight in that way. Sprawling cities, a population numbering in the tens of millions, although a variety of dangerous beasts prowl the wilds. Advanced technology and the protection of the world's fal'Cie keepers ensure residents a peaceful and prosperous existence. Travel to the lower world of Pulse is forbidden. But given their deep-seated cultural fears of the place, Cocoon citizens would not even think to venture beyond the paradise they know. Hanging Edge. A relic of days before the War of Transgression, the Hanging Edge is located near Cocoon's outer rim. The area was once a thriving urban centre, but residents were forced to abandon the location when an attack by Pulsian forces cracked Cocoon's shell. During the conflict, several centuries passed. It was since designated a restricted zone, and with civilians' access prohibited, soon became nothing more than a name on a local map. History and myth. Thus, resting in Cocoon's shadow, the sprawling and enigmatic lower world of Pulse is home to a multitude of terrors. The land is commonly believed to be inhospitable to human life, and a strict ban on interworld travel forbids citizens of Cocoon from venturing there to challenge this hypothesis. Not even members of the Sanctum's upper echelon can claim to have seen the surface with their own eyes, but the attempted invasion by the world's savage armies several centuries ago is well documented. Widespread fear of even repeated assault persists among the populace even today. Colloquial references often likening the world to a manner of living hell. And finally, the 13 days, day 13, exile. A fal'Cie of Pulse origin was discovered within the vestige on the outskirts of Bodom, 2 days previously, having apparently spent centuries in hibernation, with humans none the wiser for its presence. The Sanctum deemed the potential contamination by Pulse magic a risk too great to overlook, and immediately enacted legislation permitting the false and involuntary removal of the fal'Cie. An entire population of Bodom from Cocoon deportees were told only that they would be transported to Pulse. But you know, don't call it the purge, call it something nicer. Inventory. Items. Getting stuff. We've got those.
I don't want to die. Never should have fought back.
No, I want to shop. Got myself this chip, don't I? I think you're supposed to sell everything in this game, but I'll sell chip. Right. Dagger. Is the game too loud?
This is crazy.
I might just meet you.
Really? Can I?
Sure. And when we're taking a dirt nap, you can save them all.
Oh, that's even worse.
No dirt naps today. We're all in this together.
No, only regular
Our
naps.
enemies, the Cocoon Sanctum. Their dreaded PSICOM, no less.
What's the dread? PSICOM's nothing but a whole bunch of bluster and bullying. They
Pew,
got
pew, pew,
nothing
pew.
on Nora.
Well, we are the heroes after all. Let's prove it.
Yeah. Ah, we were just waiting on Godot.
Sanctum's gonna pay
Waiting
for
for.
this.
Oh, fuck it.
Wrapped up and ready.
Okay, abilities, attack and hand grenade. There's only two, so you probably won't need it, but we'll see how much it does. About 50, 60, and we'll do attacks. So normal attacks are probably more worth it. We have a pretend Riku on our team.
Gotta clear a path out of here.
Grenade would make more sense. Fine.
No more.
There are soldiers everywhere.
Yo, boss. What's the plan? Charge in, guns blazing.
Hey, that's not a plan.
Real heroes don't need plans.
Well, at least there's 3 of us now. Okay. Grenade. Yeah, I never actually considered that, like, so Square have archetypes,
as always.
and one of them is
Hard,
the just sort
hit
of
'em
the
again.
young girl archetype, but that she does the same hoppy dance as Riku, and basically all of them,
Only hope these people have.
like Selfie and Yuffie is what I mean. That archetype, the sort of hopping on your feet. Do normal attacks. See, if people love.
Kids go falling behind
I guess these the later on in the games you get, the harder is the mod. But like, you'd think people would be like, yeah, it's, like, let us play like the entire game as those two. Like, if it was moddable, people would do that. No, you just grenade again.
Oh, yeah!
That was damn good. Oh, I got 5 stars with it though. Mums are tough.
You all okay? Hey, careful with those. Don't worry. No one's moving to Pulse today. We'll clear you a path out of here, so be ready to...
Wait! Let me fight with you!
You can't expect us to just sit here.
Good help.
Yep.
Is that like a
Let us help.
you've got to have a cool haircut rule?
Okay then. Volunteers front and center.
Here, take this one.
This
Here you go. Oh, and one for you.
Count
Go
me in.
for it.
It's just like,
Yours?
she is dressed up like a main character, so like, makes sense.
Mom?
But Hope isn't. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Mums are tough.
Huh?
So I just
Hold it steady.
Ah, it's not yet. Like,
Nice.
I genuinely haven't played this game since it's come out. It's just that line.
You sure?
Yeah. Moms are tough.
Yeah!
Right.
I don't know why, I just really love that line. It's really dumb.
All right, last one. Somebody take it.
Yeah.
And I know Vanilla is the actual
Push up the
archetype
shove.
version of in this game.
Safe.
There's just multiple in this game.
First
No.
impression of snow? All talk.
Yeah, don't aim your gun at somebody you don't intend to
All
shoot.
right, lay low and you'll be fine. We'll clear out the area. We're going home together!
Come on, everybody up!
Right. New recruits, on me.
One thing I've always been in, like
Time to go, kiddo.
what am I getting at? Vanilla's incredibly annoying as a character, and like they're not voiced, so like they did a really good job with Yuffie and Riku, yeah, but like, can you imagine Selfie
We're not losing to
with
Psychon, you
voice?
hear me?
It'd be
This'll be a piece of cake.
piece of cake. Ooh, an iron bangle. The Purge in the Sanctum initiative is designed to protect the stability of Cocoon by forcing potentially dangerous civilians to relocate to Pulse. However, the relocation is simply a facade to cover the massacre that ensues. The government's true goal is the brutal extermination of all possible threats to peaceful society. Really sounds like a terrible system. Having discovered the horrific truth, Snowleaf... You know what? People do that in real life, though. There are real life dictators that just massacre. I'm trying to think. I was listening to a podcast about one the other day who used like chemical weapons against his own people. So tyrants do. It's still a fucking stupid idea, because you know, if you want to exploit people, having them be dead makes you have less to exploit. Like, it's just a stupid idea. Like in a pragmatic sense. Having discovered the horrific truth, Snow leads a member of Nora against the government soldiers of Psychon. Not that I want to give tyrants advice, and I understand that the core belief behind that one would have to become a tyrant. Well, not necessarily. Not all tyrants are the same, but like the thing. Let's put it this way, like. If you've ever noticed that a sort of certain rich people can just sort of assume they're owed their success, you know, I worked for my success, and you're like, no, you came from a very rich family, and you may be doing well in your position, but you only got into that position because you were given all the bread, and like they just don't understand. They're like, no, poor person, you just haven't tried hard enough, and I tried, yeah, I tried so hard, you don't know how much I've tried. And like, you have no idea how much everyone tries. And like, so if you're a tyrant, that's like the prime example of that sort of thinking, where you're like, I deserve to be in this position. So, like, you're not necessarily going to be logical in that position. Like I say, not everyone's like that. Like Stalin's quite a good example of somebody who clearly sort of understood going, like, there was a coup, like he had to fight to get there, and then what was immediately corrupted by that position. Also, I think his wife died, and it just sort of broke him, and he just sort of had issues. I'm not going to defend Stalin, my God, like he murdered like millions and millions of people, but I definitely do. My point is that like it's a subtly the way he did awful things is slightly different than other tyrants who did it, because he was just like a drunken madman, rather than like a modern. I can't remember his name. There's so many. There are people who are perfectly compos mentis doing terrible things to their people. Whereas, you know, Stalin's not a great example of that, because he literally was drunk all the time, and there's clearly something wrong. You know what? I'm just saying there's different categories of them. I don't want to make it sound like that I'm like, going, well, this type's better. There isn't a better or worse, but there are different types, and it's interesting. And the point in this game is just that I'm just confused by the idea of just like murdering a whole bunch of people just in case they might be connected to insurgents and stuff like that. That just seems incredibly illogical, but maybe, you know, paranoid leader and stuff. Inspired by the action of a handful of brave young men and women, the beleaguered civilians take heart and join the battle, hopes of returning to a normal life. I will say, however, that whenever people will like argue about like communism and Nazism, and they go Hitler, Stalin, like with Hitler and the Nazis, that was like running as intended. He wanted things, and he got exactly what he wanted. And like that's the frightening thing about. Whereas like when people say, you know, communism, they don't want Stalin's communism. You know what I mean? Like that's not it running as intended. That's bad. No one wants that. Even the people who are communists do not want Stalin's communism. I mean, maybe some people do, like tankies and stuff, but they're just insane. Or even like China communism. You know what I mean? Like anyway. But when someone says like fascism, what happened with Hitler? Like that's inevitable. Maybe the communism thing's inevitable as well. But I mean, there was a dude with a plan, and he enacted that plan, and he mentally knew what he was doing everything along the way. Whereas that can't be said for like communist Russia. It's what I'm guessing at. Anyway, inspired by the actions of this handful of brave young men and women, the beleaguered citizens. I have to kind of put it up like in my opinion as well, because like, I'm sure a historian can turn up and be like, you don't know what you're fucking talking about, mate. No, this is what I glean from the bits and pieces I do know. Among the citizens who stand against the forces of SICOM is a mother who wishes nothing more than to protect her son. Cocoon Society. SICOM. The Sanctum military is comprised of two main branches. The Guardian Corps, responsible for maintaining the security in various jurisdictions throughout Cocoon, and SICOM, Public Security and Intelligence Command. SICOM is an elite special operations unit charged with protecting Cocoon from fal'Cie incursion. In contrast to the lightly armed Guardian Corps, SICOM employs an array of advanced heavy weaponry, cruiser-class airships. SICOM bears responsibility for any and all threats of false origin. The SICOM who conducted Purge. So public security is something different. Guardian Corps, yeah, that's... So she is Guardian Corps, presumably. There we go. Just look at everyone's status. It doesn't say anything about them, it just... And I have to go like that. Oh no, they have no statuses. How dare you consider their status? They're statusless. They have question mark HP.
Stay sharp. Don't want to make their job any easier. Sorry, boss.
I love the idea of just dropping a grenade right next to your feet as a tactic. He walks forward to do it as well.
LeBro, back us up.
LeBro is backing you up. Bad kitty. Oh, hello, Screams. How long have you been there?
All right, let's shake things up a little.
Mobilize Beta Force! Put down the resistance!
Oh, cool. After this cutscene, I'll do some talking. Ooh, I need to change that writing. Because that's taking a little bit too much room.
Heroes don't run from fights.
Right.
We fight and we survive.
Oh, God. What are you doing? That's just mean. Let's just do attacks. It doesn't have anything. It's auto battle. So it's quite a change from the last Final Fantasy I was playing, but I did successfully complete Final Fantasy VII.
We gotta win this.
I suspect we'll be fine. But I don't get to control the other two. I can only be Snow right now. And I have a button that just says, do what you want! Now, I can choose between attacks, which I can do twice. Or I can throw a grenade, which, I mean, does groups of people. So, it's just not really worth it. You get more damage out of 2 normal attacks right now. And Auto Battle sort of knows that, so it just does it for me. Thank you. This is a boss of sorts. It's a beta behemoth. It's nice seeing the behemoth. Like, we didn't see many in 7. There were some in that cave, though. Yeah, I got very unlucky with that giant. I could have completed it that night, but I got grumpy. Oh, you missed the best line of this game. Just mums are tough.
No! We got trouble! No kidding. Stay down.
Oh, I shall. This is jam and toast flavored tea. Oh, it's gone. Hey, oh. Metal Gear.
I told you, didn't I? Moms are tough.
Yay! I didn't realize I said it twice. Yeah. When it's not doing a cutscene, I'll do some exclamations. That's Nora, though. She's a mother.
Mother! Please.
Hold on!
No, I should have pressed it a couple of seconds later. Right about now. That's his mum. The point the game's trying to make is that Snow is a little irresponsible. Like, he started a sort of rebellion, but just to be cool. And it's got, like, effects and stuff, you know. But apart from it, doesn't really make any sense, because, like... He didn't kill her. The bloody villains did. But, what was he going to do? Not start a rebellion. He would have just got shot. But, I would like to save my progress. Thank you very much, game. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Snow very much. But, like, it wasn't... What are they going to do if we didn't pass guns out?
It's an out-and-out massacre. Those people won't even live long enough to die on Pulse.
was the idea.
What?
Sanctum logic. They conjured up the purge to eliminate a threat. I mean, why carry the danger all the way to Pulse? Why not just stamp it out here?
But like, it feels like it'd just be cheaper just to put them on Pulse.
Execution masquerading as exile.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't understand why
That's
they
all
do
the
this.
purge ever was.
So it's an evil government. I get that.
Relocation to Pulse. How does the
We
government
just started
get away
this, by
with
the way.
putting crap like that.
We're like an hour and a half in.
And you knew this was gonna happen?
The purge was SciComm. Private Sanctum troops, not the Guardian Corps.
SciComm, Guardian Corps. Soldiers are soldiers, aren't they? Pulse fal'Cie and their fal'Cie are enemies of the state. Tell a soldier to kill an enemy, and you really think it's gonna matter?
This is a 360
what uniform
game.
He's wearing?
I mean, I
Might
put the
have mattered
resolution
that one.
to the,
Couldn't shoot.
you know, on the top.
Got himself shot
But it
instead.
looks really good still.
How about you? Orders say shoot, you pull the trigger?
She quit. You realize that? She quit before the start of the game.
Fine. Forget I asked.
So there are some weird decisions in this game.
What?
That robot's dressed as a clown. That was a weird decision. I mean, there's no reason to blitz it. Oh, it's a Megadon! That's a type of snake, right? Let's see if Blitz puts its percentage up. Oh crap, item, potion, everyone. Oh, damn, I almost died then. So I'll talk through the fights. Oh, I'm stacking there. So the fights are now in real time, essentially. There's countdown timers to our turns. And I can either do 2 attacks or 1 blitz. Same as the last person. Whereas Saz, he does what he wants to do. I don't really know. Item is a free action. And I have to remember to click it. Oh, I've got some emulsion. I did pour some of that on my face, which was not the target.
Huh?
Attention purge deportees. Attention purge deportees.
Yeah, so I'm not really getting the logic of them just murdering small portions of their population.
Your removal is the will of the people of Cocoon. Should you attempt to flee, the Sanctum will employ every resource necessary.
Because they're only rebelling because of this.
This land is no longer your home. Cease
Well, that's cool. I did not consider.
Sarah!
So they're on the little mini moon planet right now. They're on the inside of it, and Pulse is a planet, so that could legitimately be the Sonic planet.
Yeah. Right in there.
The Pulse fal'Cie.
So the game is going to say the words fal'Cie and fal'Cie a lot, and I really wish they just picked different words. Because you're going to spend the entire game going, I don't know the difference between a fal'Cie and a fal'Cie and a... There's at least the third time. I hate Vanilla so much. So they did something different with the voice acting in this game, because in the Japanese voice acting, there's always these lots of little noises they do, and they mean something, but they're not words. They go and in Final Fantasy
It's too
X,
much, isn't it?
in Final Fantasy X, that gets changed to I know, you know, and if you look at that game, there's so many you knows and I knows in that game. But no, this keeps all the ums and ahs, and Vanilla is just like.
You said it made you happy when I smiled, didn't you?
Just doing all the... it makes her incredibly annoying.
I was afraid.
Like,
I was always afraid.
they do such a good job with Riku and with Yuffie in the remake. Yeah, it's... I'll try and be fair to this game because I've not played it since it came out. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong.
So,
I'm definitely
how
not,
do you figure
though.
that post fal'Cie is different from the sanctums? All things being equal, I just as soon keep wondering.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like the chocolate part.
Time to jump.
Yeah. Hey! Hang on! What the? Hey! Damn. She can do it, so can we.
No, she's got a special device in a thing. I've seen people complain about that. And it's in a finger. Like they show it like at the start of the game. She clicks it and it's right there. It's a little computer device. Presumably she has just like a levitation equipment in her boots. So it's not a complaint I have about this game. It, like clearly shows what she does there. But
Come on.
What about the others? They didn't die. They couldn't have died.
there we go. Just in case you were waiting for Kuto. Yeah, you can. It's a nice to play. Spot the main character.
Hey, get a grip, man. What's wrong with you?
Get him home. Get who home?
Toss me that.
What, the falling building? Oh, the gun.
Catch.
You were right next to each other. You could have just passed the gun.
What are you doing?
So what are you afraid of, huh? You're supposed to be the hero.
Don't point guns at things you don't intend to shoot.
She's waiting there, ain't she? Your lovely bride-to-be?
So one of the gimmicks of this
About time
game
you picked her up.
is that it starts in media res. Which is an interesting idea, but for some reason they decided the way to fill the gaps would be for you to just read a bunch of writing in the menu.
There's our ride.
Yeah, he did just watch somebody
Now
die,
you're
like
talking.
fall from his hands. That's probably quite traumatic. So there's a couple of things that are already playing this, like I remember. So yeah, you get a lot of the story by going, not into here, but I've got some emulsion. You don't need to do that every time I get something new, game. There's my Myrmidon. I wish you told me what it was. He's a behemoth. Cocoon Society. So this is how we learn about bioweapons. Just like it comes with a bunch of leaflets that you have to read. So I don't know. I thought like, you know, there's the rule, right, which is show don't tell, and in games that rule would be play don't show. But no, in Final Fantasy VII, the rule is just include a bunch of extra writing that players have to pause the game and read. The Sanctum has developed a vast arsenal of weaponry to defend against the constant threat of pulse, and these living weapons are one of many fruits its researchers brought. So, I liked in 12 that every time you fought an enemy, you'd be able to read a segment about the enemy. But one, it has a little like name down the bottom that implies that like a historian wrote all these things, or like a naturalist. And again, in 10, you can literally meet a naturalist that tells you the history of the world. But like, I don't know who's reading this. I'm like, where am I getting this information from? The Sanctum has developed a fast, and again, it was just monsters. 12 had. Anyway, these living weapons are one of the many fruits the researchers born. Ordinary cocoon wildlife is transformed into efficient killing machinery through selective breeding, intense training, and physical augmentation. Bioweapons retain all the raw power and feral fury of their natural counterparts while obeying the commands of their handlers with unwavering loyalty. The AMP technology, there we go, and it also tells you right here. Antimatter manipulation principle, AMP, forms the foundation of a variety of technological wonders, enabling phenomena ranging from phase-space technology interference, I just added the word technology for some reason, to the manipulation of gravitational force. Humans ordinarily lack the means to wield magic, but through the use of mana drives, another product of principle, it's possible to synthesize its effects. Ah. Events. Chapter 1. Fallen Innocence. Cocoon citizens have already been terrified of Pulse and the mysterious horrors that are said to stalk its hostile wastelands. Their fear is so great that if a Cocoon native were to have even the briefest contact with Pulsian elements, former friends, neighbours would consider them corrupted and dangerous. In light of this fact, the Sanctum orders the purging of Bodum in an effort to remove all potentially Pulse-tainted citizens. Accordingly, the soldiers round up all those identified as candidates for relocation, inform them of their impending exile. Like, if I was an evil tyrant, I would just have people work and stuff. You know, I wouldn't just... I feel like you're wasting a lot of money murdering them. Like, they put them on a train and exile them, but like, aha, it's a trick, we're just going to murder them. It's like, even the train idea is slightly less expensive, although I guess you're then just making an army outside your door. But like, I don't know, put them to work or something. Just do so. Don't just murder them. That's weird. However, Psychom, the elite arm of the Sanctum military, then begins to massacre the helpless civilians. This prompts Snow to lead the people in a rebellion against the army. Tragically, one of the civilians decides to follow him, hoping to protect her son's dies in the act of saving Snow's life. From afar, the boy witnesses the moment of his mother's death. In shock and disbelief, fal'Cie awaits. A massive object is transported through the sky over the hanging edge. That's the name of the place. This object is a pulsed vestige, a lower world artifact that has been nothing more. So the reason they're killing everyone is because like outsider influence got in, and and that's their excuse. But like, I don't actually know why they're actually killing people, because the one thing they're trying to prevent is like a bit more specific than just random civilian. Like, 2 days ago, it was discovered that a vestige housed a long dormant pulse fal'Cie. The fal'Cie had slumbered undisturbed on the outskirts of a Cocoon city for centuries. The Sanctum decrees that the presence of the pulse entity and its corrupting magics have tainted the entire population of the city, or orders they're like, oh, there's voice acting. Let's force them to read anyway. For different reasons, Lightning and Sass now make their way towards that very being that was the catalyst for so much tragedy. Snow, meanwhile, is crushed by the feelings of guilt after many die under his command. I feel like there's some way to convey that Snow is feeling this guilt, like that didn't like require me to read. If only like the technology for like showing faces or maybe having him say words out loud existed, and then I'd be able to go, that dude looks like he's crushed by the feelings of guilt. But no, I gotta read this. He emerges from his gloom when Godot reminds him that the fal'Cie is holding a certain young lady captive who needs her hero now more than ever. And yes, the game starts 13 days after certain events take place. So we know what happened on day 13, but nothing before that. History and myth. Fal'Cie. And it's like, if only there was some way to sort of elegantly tell these stories. Like, I complain... Oh, hello. How do I pronounce your name? King Shit Oni, I'm going to say. Or is it King's Hit Oni? But yes, was it Lord of the Rings, where the hobbits are walking to a place, and suddenly, Magneto goes, "Stop right there, hobbits! See that broken castle over there? Let me spend 20 minutes explaining the history of that castle." And it's like, Gandalf, we're trying to destroy a ring. Do we have time? No, we've got time. I'm going to tell you about this castle. And it's kind of like that, but in computer game form. I'm doing well. It's quite late. It's 20 past midnight, and I'm reading writings on animes. fal'Cie are in an existence beyond human comprehension, possessed of incredible magic power, the ones responsible for Cocoon's construction and protectors of humanity. But there are others of their kind as well, the fal'Cie who dwell on Pulse and name themselves enemies of Cocoon. How humans who encounter Pulse fal'Cie are cursed. Beings turned to l'Cie are ordered to destroy Cocoon. Sorry, I said that really weirdly then. It is for this reason that the most ordinary citizens support the Purge. Anyone who may have come into contact with one of these fal'Cies represents a dire threat. So, as I understand, the reason why they massacre everyone is because there's a chance if you meet, like, there are like gods. Like if they just used words rather than fal'Cie and fal'Cie, it'd be much easier to understand. There are, like, this world was shaped by a little god who made this little cocoon world, and there are other gods that, if they get influence, can give humans powers, and they really, really, really don't want that to happen. So if there's even a speck of chance of that happening, they just murder everything. As I understand it. Oh, yeah, King. I'll call you Kings. Right. So, is that your first time? I played this game once before when it first came out, but I will. Just in case you have not played it before,
everyone's all right.
I will make sure I don't say anything that happens beyond now, basically. But yes,
That in there ain't gonna stop us.
I've had a very weird day, to be honest. Oh, I've got a power circle. It occurs to me I never actually equipped. Oh, he gets new coats? Wild Bear. Power circle, there's my strength up and magic down. I don't have any magic, so I'll go with that. And I'll go for the iron bangle. Give myself a little bit of extra health. So yeah, I finished Final Fantasy VII Friday. And this morning, I spent a good 3 hours of today going, okay, I want to play Final Fantasy VIII, because I'm trying to do this thing, right? I'm trying to do this thing where it's an ambition of mine of completing all the Final Fantasy games, even the weird side games that probably don't count, apart from like the 11th one or possibly Crystal Chronicles. Pretty sure some of these games would be impossible. It'd be a bit of a headache to stream. I guess I'll see how I feel about them when I get to those particular games, I guess. And so obviously the logical next one is 8. Technically speaking, Final Fantasy Tactics is there. I am playing Final Fantasy Tactics, playing War of the Lions. It's an updated version. I'm trying to play the newest version of each game. Let's fight it. Cat, while I explain. But I was like, well, I played Final Fantasy VII with mods. No, we want to chuck a grenade. So we'll play, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Maybe that's got mods. And it turns out, yeah, it does have mods, and you're going to kind of want mods as well, because Final Fantasy VIII Remastered has like these really good new models, but for the PlayStation 1 era backgrounds, and it's really weird. I was going to make a screenshot. I have to get it, but it means having to start the game again. Okay. We should use a potion, shouldn't we? Oh, we've got a new coat. Let's use a potion. There we go. So yeah, like in the very first scene, there's a bunch of 3D characters sitting in a room, in a classroom, but some of the characters are part of the background, and their resolution is like night and day. It's like, here's a person in perfect crystal clarity, and here's a blurry person standing next to them, because it's a part of a PlayStation 1 era background. So I was like, why didn't you make the AI upscale these backgrounds? So I was like, well, presumably a modder has done that, because they love that shit. Like as soon as AI technology came around, every modder jumped onto it. That's backwards. I literally just saved that, didn't I? No, I do want to cancel. Yes, please cancel. Yeah, so it's like, I'm going this way. So I spend literally 3 hours. Did I open this? Nope. I am going that direction. Looking for a modder, and yeah, there's a series of mods. People have updated all the graphics, made, because even though their models were updated, their clothing was still quite low resolution, so people fixed them. But the only one I really wanted was the backgrounds upscaled, and that one's behind a paywall, and I didn't want to pay money.
On your own.
And it's quite difficult to find information about this. It's not like if I could find a YouTube video, like Final Fantasy VII had a nice YouTube video I could follow, and it was like, oh, a download manager. Like, it was very convenient. Whereas this was all like, I had to go through 3 different sources to find everything out. The long and short of it is that I just like we have to wait a couple of months until the dude's finished.
All right, on my go.
Right.
Like it seems done, but he wants to bake it into another mod that I care less about.
Go!
But whatever. We'll wait on Final Fantasy 8. So I decided, hey, I'm playing. I've got Xbox Game Pass. I paid £1. I've got 3 months. This is on Game Pass. I don't need to buy this game. I might as well just play it for free. So that's one. So for once, I'll jump ahead of the queue. And there are I've never played Final Fantasy 13-2 or Final Fantasy 13-3. So after I go back, guys, hopefully Final Fantasy 8's mods will be done. Ooh, bike. But yeah, that's 3 hours of my day. But when I've decided to do
That's a sad sound.
I then spent another 3 hours trying to get my computer to install it on drive E rather than drive C. But Game Pass is really annoying for like going, nah, I want you to enjoy. It's like, I've got no space on C. I've got a second drive of space. Put it on that.
You
No.
don't know who you've got to save. You just protect them all, right?
Something on your mind?
So yeah, I lost, I reckon, about 7 hours today not doing anything. Which is the other reason why I decided to... Fuck it, I'm just playing Final Fantasy 13. Like, I've got so many games I'm enjoying and playing. I just, like, got fixated on, like, trying to solve a certain problem. And then I ended up doing nothing all day. And that made me super grumpy. So I'm going to play this until the night.
Ready!
I mean, if we had Shadow the Hedgehog, we would have saved everyone by now.